Well, that's all she wrote at the London Stadium. Um, that's a tough one to take, man. That's a very tough one to take. And watching them celebrate, players taking their shirts off, the manager walking around clapping. Look, you give West Ham credit in this game, but you also got to look at Liverpool. Um, really disgusting performance, really, both halves. And um, I said in the first half, people will mention the refs. We should be thanking the ref in that first half. The goal we get comes from a dive from Salah. That's just what it is. The second goal we get from Origi is, I mean, I don't think it's a fluke. I think that's something that's in Origi's locker, but it's a scuff off of, I think, Trent. At the time, I thought it was Salah. Gets right to Origi, takes the shot, gets the goal. Cool. But, West Ham were just a better team today. They had a plan, they exercised it. And, to concede two goals from set pieces, for all that Trent did today, the goal, some of the passes, and a few other things, this is why people talk about Trent as being a lot of liability defensively. I don't know if he got a flashback of Space Jam and he thought that was Michael Jordan, and he just watched it and was such an awe about it, or just smitten with the athletic ability of the West Ham player. But he literally just allowed him to jump up and get the goal. You see the goalkeeper watching it, and then he just lets off. I don't. It's anytime we have these moments where we go undefeated for a period, it's always a loss like this. It's all, at least from my memory, it always feels like it's a loss where we're not even in the game, and whoever that team is gets the better of us and knocks us off our block. So, just a disappointing game overall. I mean, I wish it was a game where I can really pinpoint someone who stood out, but it wasn't. You get Thiago, who's arguably one of the best passers we've seen in the modern game, and he comes in, and it's the first time I've ever watched him and thought I was cringing every time he touched the ball because he was giving the ball away left and right. And I know he hasn't played for a while and all that, but in crunch time, we're you know moving the ball slow, giving the ball away. I mean, these are seasoned, experienced players, and it's the worst. Like the title says, it's the worst performance of the season in my opinion. Um, and defensively, we got to shape up. I mean, the goal they get, the second goal they get, it's from I think Mane gets dispossessed and they go and they get the goal. You give them credit for that. But it's the two set piece goals for me. That goal, open play. Look, they were getting on the counter all day on us, which is something that we know we leave open a lot of the times. It's the way we play. But the set piece situations are just hard to take those. That's just, it's so disappointing to see us concede those kind of goals when we know that's what West Ham is about. That is their bread and their butter. Set pieces, headers, that's what they do. And I just think today, our best players just weren't great today. I think they did a good job on Salah, even though he tried and still showed off his footwork. And at times you thought he might get something, but every other time it was three players on him, which you would think, like any other sport, when those many guys collapse to one player, you would think there would be one or two dudes open. I think a lot of times it looked like Salah was trying to force things, which I know he's been able to be successful with in the past, but you don't have to do that every time. Whatever, I'm not going to knock Salah. I think he tried hard today and whatever. Mane, two big chances in that game missed from him. Got to call it what it is. Early in that second half, he gets a point blank shot, kicks it right to Fabianski. That can happen, okay. But that second chance from the set piece, beautiful ball again from Trent. You got to hit it on target at least. That's the game right there. That's the game. And back to the first half, when things weren't going right for us, whether it be a call from the ref or whatever, it just seemed like we dropped. And again, like I said in the first half, we're too mature for that. We should be. We shouldn't be allowing things like that to knock us off our game. But clearly, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened in the game. And it didn't really seem like we really got back into it after that. I mean, yeah, we get the goal, and like I said, that's a gift from the ref. So you can talk about Craig Paulson, whatever his name is, all day. He gives us a gift there with that free kick, because that was not a foul on Salah at all. No matter what angle you look at, no matter what team you support, whatever you see, that's a dive. So we get that, but even with that, this result is not a surprise. As the game was going on, how the game was going on, for me, it's not a surprise. This is what can happen when you just don't bring your game. And why they wouldn't, I'm not sure. And again, it's split for me. I think Liverpool underperformed today severely, but I also have to give credit to West Ham. They are showing under that manager that they are a team that other teams in the top four have to look out for, and those other teams that are trying to climb up. Arsenal's getting their act together. Um, Brighton are still in around there. So I don't know what Conte's going to do at Spurs, but we have got to get our act together. I think this might be one of the best international breaks for us in terms of just what we need. Get some guys back fit, but honestly, I think Klopp needs to look at certain players on the positions and put favoritism to the side. I'm not going to single out any players. I don't think it's really a time to do that. I think collectively, all together, um, we just weren't great. And guys who you feel like are put in positions to do certain things to go and get you a result, um, they didn't do it. I spoke about Thiago, and again, a guy who is phenomenal at distribution. For me, and I'm not just from this game in general, to me it almost feels like every time he touches the ball, he has to have a highlight reel. Make the regular basic pass, the easy pass. There's no need to try to do something slick all the time. Now, I noticed that a lot in the game. There's a lot of back passes and behind the. Just make the regular pass. You know what I mean? You can see West Ham were well drilled. Shout out to that manager again. They came to play. They had a plan, and they succeeded at that, in my opinion. So, I mean, it's just when you see the other results and you see, Chelsea dropping points, you see an opportunity for us to get a bit more, get higher in the table, keep our undefeated streak going. We crumble, and that's something that to me is very worrying. I'm seeing something in this team that reminded me of early days of Klopp, where we couldn't break down teams. We felt like we had no answer. We couldn't. I mean, this is Liverpool Football Club, and we just didn't have an answer for West Ham today. The score does not show how that game went. It doesn't. And even if we would have gotten it to 3-3, which we should have with that Mane chance, it still would have felt like, why is it coming to this? Why does it come to some fluke situation where Origi gets the goal and you think, oh, maybe we can get something? And I really did. Once Origi got that goal, we left it too late. But once Origi got that goal, I did think, okay, maybe we can get something back. But it still would have been a sour taste because this was a great opportunity for us to keep the pace, keep the consistency, stay unbeaten, which we all know is a very tall task. So it's not surprising that at some point we would have lost the game today. But to lose like that is just it's a blow. It's a heavy blow. And yeah, defensively, I just don't know. Again, West Ham could have gotten a few more goals. This could have been really, really ugly when it didn't need to be. Antonio had a chance earlier, probably a couple of chances. When they get the break, the counterattack, they had a lot of different chances. And, Van Dijk does show how good of a defender he is in some of those instances. But every time he turned around, the camera showed him. He was yelling at somebody in the midfield, yelling at somebody in defense, Klopp always talks about defending as a team. And as a team today is what I mean. I don't mean necessarily the defense, the back four. Yes, they play a part, of course. But as a team today, we just didn't defend well. And, yeah, that's a lot of just us not doing well in that department. And a lot of it's West Ham who came, again, with a game plan and played well. So you got to give them credit. I love my team. There's always going to be days like this. Hopefully it's few and far in between. But this was one of those days. And I think one of the things in that first half that really showed what kind of day it could be was you saw Mane from a standing position try to take an attempt on target from like 35 yards out. And that just really just showed how every sort of opening that we could have had was clogged by West Ham. Again, I said in the first half, it felt like they had an extra man every time we had the ball. I mean, we were just going around in a U all day, it felt like, putting crosses in with what that was basically just prayers. You wait to put Origi on that late. I mean, that sort of game plan, you feel like that's a situation where maybe he starts from the beginning. And look, it's hindsight, whatever. I mean, we started who we started. That should have been enough to beat West Ham, as good as they've been. But shout out to Origi for getting the goal. But again, that's it. The scoreline does not show. I mean, the game was not as close, in my opinion, as the scoreline may lead one to believe if they didn't watch the game. So, Yeah, just got to be better, man. Got to be better collectively, defensively. We just aren't there, and that's really frustrating because it all more times than not it always feels like something is missing. If it's the midfield, if it's the defense, if we're not scoring goals, there seems to be always something missing. And a lot of times I can't put my finger on it, but this one is just to wait to Sunday for the game and then to have to start the week, after a result like this. Good thing I'm going to a basketball game tonight, but hopefully that'll kind of get my mind off of it. But it just for the first time going live in a while, I was hoping it would be after a win, but kept my word, came on live anyway. I was always going to do that, but yeah, it's just a rough one. It's just a rough one to take, and again, the takeaways for me is how disappointing it is knowing if as a supporter, if I know how good West Ham can be from set pieces, dating back to last season, they have the most set piece goals. Surely Liverpool knew that, and twice, one's technically an own goal by our keeper, but to let them score twice from corner kicks is just and how they did it. How they did it. We know that like the crowd, Allison's a big dude, so they're always going to try to put a guy in front of him to block the view. I don't remember seeing Van Dijk or Matip on any one of those goals they scored from set pieces anywhere near where the action was happening. I don't know why that is. And again, Trent, we love him, but defensively, this is what people talk about, the liability. He's literally watching the dude, again, as if he's got a flashback to Space Jam. He thought the dude was Michael Jordan, just looking at him in awe, like, what a great athlete. I mean, be a part of it. Get stuck in. Do something. That's the issue. And a lot of times on the break, we were just caught out. And like I said, in my opinion, West Ham could have had at least one or two more. We were very, very fortunate today that this game didn't get out of hand. We really were. And again, the Rigi goal, sure, but that first goal we get, that's a gift from that ref. You can complain about him all you want, say what you feel, but Salah was not fouled on that, and so we got the free kick. We finished it, but today it just felt like we needed some sort of luck when we could have just made our own luck. We were looking for a handout, a call here, a call there, something to go our way instead of just going and grabbing the game as we've done all this season, especially away from home. The goals we've scored, it just and for me, so it came down to allowing West Ham to do what they do best, get two goals from it, and then it came down to Mane missing two big chances. And again, in games like this, you have to take those chances when it's tough like that. A team like that, when they go up against us, they're going to just sit back. So the few chances you do get, you got to take them. And that's what championship teams do. That's what teams with great mentality are able to do. And let's just be honest, we didn't do that today. Days like this will come. Like I said, hopefully not many, but it's a rough one to take, particularly when we had a chance to really assert ourselves in the table. And now we're fourth. So this team really needs to look themselves in their eye and figure out something collectively as far as a defensive standpoint to do better. These sorts of lapses in mentality and, allowing the different circumstances in a game to get to you, which that's what in the first half it looked like Liverpool allowed these sort of missed calls or whatever to get to us, and we just dropped. And West Ham dominated that whole game, which is crazy because that's why I say that stat of possession means nothing. I think we had close to 70%. They were 30-something. I mean, but they played their game. They played West Ham, and you got to respect them for that. They played West Ham ball under that manager, and you got to just give them credit. It would have been a beautiful thing to see us come back and get a draw, but even then, as I said earlier, it wouldn't have. It's just kind of a paper over the crack. Today was our worst performance of this season, in my opinion, in any competition. Again, players who you feel like you put in for one reason. Thiago, I spoke about him before earlier. His passes were all over the shop. I mean, that didn't look like Thiago. I know he's been out, but just a very, very disappointing performance, disappointing result. We got a break now, and hopefully with that we can get some guys back and come back, stronger than we did today. That's for sure. So that's me. Finally get to go back live again. Thanks for the people who stopped by, and for the people who stopped by and popped back out. I appreciate you. And gotta dust ourselves off. Try to enjoy the rest of this weekend. Enjoy the week. But yeah, worst performance for me in a while, actually, in general, but definitely this season. Let me know what you guys think if you like. That's me for now. 3-2 at London Stadium to West Ham. Until next time.